It's Wednesday, July 27th, and I want to tell you about an article that I read in the Jerusalem Post. This article deals with an event that took place over the weekend in Tampa, Florida. And this event was called Turning Point USA Students Action Summit. And it was held July 22nd to July 24th. And there were thousands of participants from all over the U.S., ranging in ages from 15 to 26. And it had a group of very well-known right-wing leaning speakers, including Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and Ben Carson, the former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and the infamous Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, plus what they call the political commentator, Kayleigh McEnany. And you remember her, she was Trump's press secretary at one point in time. And then they had Florida's Rick Scott and Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Now these are extremely right-wing conservatives. That's the background information that you really need to understand what happened. Because on Sunday, the neo-Nazis demonstrated outside this convention with SS flags and swastikas and Nazi symbols. There were over 100 people marching with these flags and symbols. And they marched from the Gaslight Square Park to the Tampa Convention Center where the conference was taking place. And the signs proudly said, "This is DeSantis country." And those signs were mixed in with the flags of the swastikas. And they distributed flyers indicating the different groups that they recommend. And I don't know how many of you people have heard of the GDL. That is a counter group, the opposite of the ADL. The ADL being the Anti-Defamation League. And the GDL represents the Goyim Defense League. And it is an ultra-right-wing anti-Semitic organization to the core. And this league, this GDL, was carrying a flag that proudly proclaimed every single aspect of abortion is Jewish. Now, I never heard of the GDL before reading this article. But according to the Anti-Defamation League, the GDL is responsible for more than 74 anti-Semitic incidents since 2021. And these incidents have taken place primarily in California, Florida, Colorado, and New York. And the GDL is an internet-based network of individuals who connect through blatant anti-Semitism. They are connected to a handful of organizers and public figures, and they have thousands of followers online. And can you believe it that I never heard of them? And I am willing to bet everybody who's listening to this rant has never heard of them. Even though supposedly they have done their act in New York. But they're not getting the press in New York, apparently. Or maybe their actions in New York, while being anti-Semitic, have been sloughed over. But can you imagine an organization that has the word Goyim in it? Now, we know Goyim is not a nice word. But these people, these members of this defense league, are incorrigibles. They're the worst of mankind. And the executive director of the StopAntisemitism.org told the Jerusalem Post that Florida continues to see a rise of neo-Nazi activity, yet is not doing much to stop it. Maybe they're waiting for somebody to get hurt before anybody takes action. And this is a state that has right now the leading contender for the presidency, Ron DeSantis. And he spoke at this conference, and he never said a word against these protesters. He was stum. At least he didn't do what Donald Trump did and cheer them on. But he didn't come out and say, this is no place for these people to be marching. This type of free speech is unacceptable in the state of Florida. Nothing from DeSantis. Absolutely nothing. From pure hatred out in the street, and he's there to see it. So while the governor said nothing, the mayor of Tampa, Janet Cruz, said Tampa was founded on diversity and inclusion, and I'll be damned if Nazis and Proud Boys will march through our streets like this. Words have power, and we will not accept these words. In our backyard, all of us must stand up and make clear that we reject this bigoted display. So she came out and said that. But do you think that made a dent in the mere fact that we have this participation taking place? And what about the young people who are part of this turning point group? They're 15 years old to 26. And what makes them so right-wing conservative that they are calling on people like Trump and Cruz to talk to them? And where are the parents of these kids? Because it's obvious to me that these children didn't learn this stuff out on the street. Their parents, the parents of these children who form this turning point group, are responsible for having anti-Semitic and neo-Nazi groups outside and demonstrate. And I'm sure that those parents did not lecture these kids about the evils organizations like the Proud Boys and the Goyim Defense League. So this is just a reflection of the madness and the hatred that is going on in this country under the guise of freedom of speech. When you carry a Nazi flag or an SS flag, which are representations of the Holocaust, that is pure hatred, and it's more than unacceptable. It's criminal. And so I leave you with that today. So I leave you with that, and I appreciate the fact that you allow me to get this off my chest. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning.